Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Anna Magkawas, and thank you so much for that warm introduction. Welcome to Globe Business, and today I will discuss the nuts and bolts of cross-border e-commerce. And actually, very timing to, no? Kasi kakagaling lang namin from Malaysia last week. We attended the Go Trade Summit. So it's also a chance for us para mas maipakilala yung products natin sa ibang bansa. So today, magkikwento lang ako, more on kwentuhan lang. Siyempre, I will relate some stories with Lux kung paano ba rin namin nasimulan yung um, ang pag-ship ng Lux Products International. So why go cross-border? So Filipino products are loved globally, which is alam naman natin yan, di ba? And Filipinos are very supportive. Ako, on my experience, when I start selling or introducing the products online, ang dami talaga mga OFWs na nagme-message or nagko-comment that they want to buy, they want to purchase. And ang isa kasing hindrance usually talaga kapag magpapadala tayo abroad is really the shipping cost, 'di ba? Kasi alam naman natin medyo costly talaga ang shipping fee pagpapadala abroad. Pero ang nakakatuwa is that they are willing to spend. OFWs are willing to spend just to support Filipino products. And makikita mo rin yan even if magpunta ka sa ibang bansa, ma-meet mo sila, or mag-post ka lang na pupunta ka sa lugar nila, magme-message na yan na sana magdala ka ng products, bibili kami. For those na naubusan na ng stocks na nag-order sila via courier. So, wag tayong matakot, no? Wag tayong matakot na i-introduce yung products natin globally because unang-una andyan ang mga Pinoy to support us. Sila yung unang-unang magsusuporta talaga sa atin. And they love supporting Filipino products as well because it's also their way, alam mo yun, para maibsan yung yung pagka-homesick nila sa Pilipinas. But there are common misconceptions lang, no? Sometimes akala natin kapag we go global or kapag magpapadala or i-introduce natin yung products natin abroad is akala natin kailangan natin ng warehouse agad sa ibang bansa. Which is hindi po talaga siya necessary sa umpisa. Especially if small business pa lang tayo, we can start nang nandito tayo sa Pilipinas. So later on, yan yung mga pag-uusapan natin. And akala din ng iba, kailangan mo ng malaking puhunan just to sell abroad. So, ayan yung mga common misconceptions na akala natin. That is why yung iba napapanghinaan ng loob or maybe because naisip nila baka kailangan mo ng extra puhunan para maipakilala mo yung produkto abroad. But no, we can start small, we can start simple, and then later on, we will scale. So here, payments made simple. Siyempre, unang-una na dyan, di ba? Bago, bago natin maipadala yung mga produkto natin sa clients natin, of course, kailangan yung payment muna is ma-address natin. Kasi one of the iba-iba din kasi yung mga payment gateways natin. So meron tayong mga Meron tayong mga need i-consider. So let's demystify the payment processes. Ito i-share ko lang yung story nung nasa Malaysia kami, no. So itong payment made simple deck na to is para maging ready tayo. Kasi last week, nung nasa Malaysia kami for the Go Trade Summit, meron kaming booth doon. And then, may mga interested talaga to purchase. The problem is, syempre Malaysian sila, hindi kami ready. Hindi kami ready. May gusto nang bumili, pero hindi sila makapagbayad sa amin because wala kaming dala na payment method kung paano nila kami babayaran. Kasi akala namin cash to cash lang, but hindi namin naisip na they can pay pala using mga Alipay, ganyan, or bank transfer. Pero ayun yung isang naging struggle namin that time. So walang way para babayaran kami online. So kung naghagilap pa kami ng Pinay na kilala namin na distributor na nasa Malaysia para hiramin namin yung Alipay niya para doon na lang mag-transfer muna si client. So here, we will talk about na dapat ready tayo with the payment gateways na gagamitin because syempre iba-iba yon. Iba yung pag nasa Pilipinas ka at iba kapag nasa ibang bansa ang client natin. So first payment is trust. Syempre unang-una, dahil malayo yung client natin, 'di ba? We need to make sure na yung website natin or yung payment gateways natin is trusted enough para pagkatiwalaan nila na magbayad sila. Kasi unang-una, it's online. And alam naman natin yan, maraming scammers online. Or usually the problem with payment also, yung iba nadadala sila because sometimes nagkakaroon ng mga hacking, phishing of especially if you use card payments, 'di ba? So let's make sure lang din na yung ating website, if we have our website, is that appealing na talagang trustworthy enough para magbayad yung client natin sa atin. So we have naman yung mga iba't ibang mga actual, meron tayong mga partners na pwede nating i-reach out. Of course, isa na dyan si Globe with their GCash payment, GCash Global. We have maraming mga iba't ibang mga payment partners na pwede nating gamitin doon sa kung paano makakapag-settle sa atin yung client natin. But of course, we need to manage yung mga fees and conversions kasi kailangan nating i-check din or i-consider na yung mga partners natin, they have to earn as well. So hindi naman yan bibigay sa atin ng libre. So may mga charges, may mga fees, and we need to manage it. Kailangan computed natin yan kasi baka mamaya ito pa yung ikalugi natin kapag hindi natin na-anticipate na may 3.5% palang kaltas doon sa payment ni client, which is tayo of course ang mag-shoulder. Tayong mga sellers or yung business natin ang mag-shoulder ng mga fees, and then the conversions kasi syempre it's international, so usually the standard is in US dollars. So next is that, SMEs can start with low-cost plug-and-play solution. So ngayon, very maswerte yung mga business owners ngayon kasi ang dami ng mga ganitong tool na pwedeng gamitin ng mga negosyante na hindi mo na kailangan pa ng isang malaking IT team to work on with this kind of system. So marami nang pwedeng mag-support sa atin. And of course, one of that is Globe Business, 'di ba? And syempre tayo ang gusto natin talaga yung produkto natin is makilala hindi lang dito sa Philippines but also abroad. Pero instead of saying na we want to go global because yung produkto natin is trending, why not say na now is the time because the world is ready for us. And we are ready for the world. So, yung mga dinidiscuss natin, also yung with Miss Mel kanina, no, ang laking tulong para sa ating lahat, para maging handa tayo, para mas kumbaga ma-lessen natin yung mga errors kasi kami napagdaanan na namin yan somehow. So pero syempre continuous learning pa rin tayo kasi nga 'di ba lahat nababago-bago, especially yan with the tariffs, ang daming mga kailangang i-considers talaga. So continuous learning is a must lalo na kapag gusto nating mag-expand or mag-scale up ng businesses natin. And of course, the shipping and logistics. So naniniwala ba kayo na ang lifeblood ng cross-border is logistics? Syempre, hindi naman makakarating yung produkto natin kung wala ang mga logistics na to, 'di ba? So, ito naman we need to consider lang also some of the key points like yung pagpili natin ng courier kasi merong mga third-party courier na pwede nating magamit or meron din naman tinatawag na mga fulfillment centers. Pero ano ba yung difference nila at ano ba yung dapat nating gamitin or saan ba tayo magsisimula bilang small business owners, 'di ba? So the courier services or the direct shipping from Philippines to kung saang abroad mo siya gustong ipadala. For example, ayan si Zendesk, LBC, DHL, JNT. So ang dami, FedEx, kami sa Lux before, no? Kasi ako, we started selling luxury items also. So paisa-isa lang naman yung mga pinapaship namin international. Ang ginagamit namin is LBC talaga. And then nakilala namin si DHL, kasi with ano naman, with pag nabigyan ka ng corporate rate, so they will give you discounts also. They will give you better rates, especially kung regular yung pag-ship ninyo abroad or kung may volume na kayo kahit papano. So nane-negotiate yan with them. Ang maganda lang with these couriers, yun nga, low cost yung setup niya and easily pwede ka magpa-ship kasi unang-una ang daming for example, LBC, 'di ba? Ang daming mga branches. Sa mall, pwede ka magpa-ship anywhere. So, madaming mga hub na pwede mong puntahan kung paisa-isa lang naman yung mga ipapaship natin. Also, no contracts, no minimum volume required, and then may full control tayo sa pag-handle ng mga packaging, especially the branding. Kung gusto natin talaga more on customer experience, ayan. And then, mas flexible din sila. Pero ang consequences naman ng mga ganito is that higher yung cost. So medyo mataas talaga yung shipping cost ng mga to. So sometimes kasi one of the nagiging problem, isa sa mga nagiging problem kung bakit hindi natutuloy yung shipment or yung pag-order ng client is because namamahalan sila sa shipping fee. Okay? And then we have yung mga fulfillment centers naman. So yung mga fulfillment centers naman, ito yung mga katulad ng mga Amazon, Shopee Global Warehouse, TikTok Fulfillment, yung mga third party na sila na ang bahala, parang pick and pack na kung tawagin. Pero with this naman, ito automated na, bulk shipping siya. At yung isa sa mga consequences nito, medyo lesser yung control ninyo. At the same time, kailangan mo ng malaking stock inventory level. At also the rentals. Yung rentals mo doon sa kanilang space or yung storage fees na tinatawag natin. So, sa tip, ang mapapayo ko lang also for small business owners, if you're just starting cross-border, go with courier services muna. Yung sa mga maliliit muna kung hindi pa naman ganun kalaki yung shipment natin, we can start with this couriers muna. And then once na we find out yung mga winning product or meron na talaga tayong bulk orders, then pwede tayong makipag-usap sa mga fulfillment centers. And also the custom realities, ayan. So syempre kailangan alam natin yung mga laws when it comes to customs, no? So, kailangan lang naman nating alamin. Sabi nga, don't fear customs. Alamin lang natin ano yung mga rules nila. So, may mga papers tayong dapat i-ready especially if food, supplements, kailangan ready yung mga FDA certifications natin, yung mga backup papers natin, kasi yan yung magiging supporting documents para payagan nila na i-ship natin yung mga produkto natin sa kanila. So, iyan yung isa, sometimes nandun ka na sa courier, tapos hinihingan ka ng mga supporting documents like FDA. So, kailangan i-ready mo na pagpunta mo pa lang para dire-diretso. So, practical hacks, ito naman, mahalaga din to kasi syempre when you ship, volume ang binabayaran natin dyan. It's volumetric weight, ganyan. So, mas malaki yung package, mas mahal yung babayaran natin. Kailangan magaling yung tao natin na magkamada ng mga produkto na pinapack natin. Okay, and then let's move on to choosing the right platform. So, syempre ito, saan ba tayo? Saan ba tayo magpapakita? So, puntahan natin yung mga platforms kung nasan yung mga clients natin. And syempre, kailangan alamin din natin sino ba yung mga target clients natin or Gen Z ba yan? O baka dapat more on nasa TikTok global tayo. Or marami kasing mga platforms also or maraming pwede nating pamilian like Amazon, Shopee, Lazada, 'di ba? So depende kung ano yung target market natin. So we can compare the global marketplaces versus our own website. Kami kasi we also have our own website. Ako sinasabi ko yes, it's okay doon, it's okay na mag-put up tayo or mag-set up tayo ng store sa mga global marketplaces because it's unang-una, it's easy, may support sila. At the same time, you have agad millions of clients na pwedeng pumunta or makakita ng product mo because automatic may traction yan sila and they will also support you with their mga vouchers, ganyan. But then, syempre, with the rising cost of platform fees, ito yung unti-unting medyo pumapatay sa businesses as well. Kasi syempre, hindi natin masasabi na bigla-bigla magtataas ng fees. So yan yung mga dapat din nating i-consider. So if you're small business owners, so yes, go with these global marketplaces, but make sure also to create your own website para in case man, hindi tayo nakadepende lang. Magkaroon man ng mga changes sa mga platforms na to, meron pa rin tayong homepage or meron pa rin tayong sarili natin na website na pwedeng puntahan ng mga suki natin. Okay? And then, let's go to ayan. So, syempre, mahalaga din yung mga insights and success strategies natin. So, kailangan na papag-aralan din natin yung kung saan at kung kailan tayo mag-expand or mag-scale. So cross-border isn't just for big corporations. Tandaan nyo yan. Kahit po maliit lang kayo. Nagsimula kami lang nasa bahay lang. Nagsimula kami na nagpo-post lang online. And now, nakikilala na yung produkto natin sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. You will see our products sa mga Pinoy supermarkets also in UAE, Canada, US. So nakakatuwa. So kailangan lang na maging ready. Kailangan lang na makinig tayo and i-apply natin and continuous learning lang talaga. So if you can sell one customer in Manila, then definitely you can sell one customer in Singapore, US, Australia, Canada, or kung saan mang lugar mo yan gustong makarating because the system is just the same. So think global, start simple, and scale smart. So that's all, and thank you.
Maraming salamat, Miss Anna. Some great thoughts there as well. You know, I think in our first talk of the day, we talked about the who, the where, the what, and Miss Anna has given us the how. How can we proceed? And I think she was so encouraging at this point in showing us that you don't have to be so intimidated. Syempre, pag global thinking na tayo, kala na natin sobrang, oh, I'm too small for this, or oh, I can't do it yet. I need to have a big IT team, like she said. Hala, baka I need the same, you know, equipment and manpower and resources as a giant corporation. But no, I love that she was able to shed some light on the fact that you're not too small to try it and to see if you can reach, especially our Filipino market that are scattered all over the world. So we're connecting the dots. From Miss Mel to Miss Anna, I think their talks are fitting into each other so nicely. And I'm sure our third and final speaker of the day is going